I'm Cynthia Wandia, co-founder and CEO at Kwara. Looking forward to presenting. So far, it seems an Olympic sport to successfully go through the presentation, but we're here for that. A little bit about Kwara. So Kwara is a startup. We were launched in 2019, specifically providing a digital banking platform for Saccos. And we've since had the privilege to serve 75 Saccos so far. We are 60 team members from about now 16 or 17 nationalities. And it's really a privilege for us to be focused and dedicated to the Sacco sector. So I'll tell you a little bit more about the company later, but what we're here also excited about is to speak on the concept of neobanking. And we are one of a few startups in the world that are pioneering the concept of neobanking and especially bringing it to the Sacco sector. So what's a neobank? Simply, a neobank is a financial institution that gives customers a cheaper and digital-first alternative to a traditional bank. So that already, you might wonder, my bank has mobile banking. Does that make it a neobank? There's a couple of things that are similar in terms of the use of technology, but as you'll see, there's a number of aspects that make neobanks particularly unique, which is why they've been able to enjoy exponential growth in the last couple of years. All right. So some of the defining features of a neobank include using technology to personalize services and reduce operational costs. It's not sufficient to simply make it possible for me to transact. Imagine a situation where we both have the same bank account, but I get a notification specific to me and you get a notification specific to you. Using that personalization at a granular level allows them to generate more and more revenue, and all of that revenue plus the reduced operational costs are passed on to the customers. The second feature is they're able to launch features very quickly. Whereas it might take up to 1 year to install or implement a traditional system, in that span of time, a neobank will have released savings, debit cards, investment, cryptocurrency trading, social features, all in the span while a bank works on a specific one feature. So in the span of the same time, they can launch and develop features quite rapidly. The third ingredient or feature of a neobank is that they're able to develop specific partnerships that allow cross-selling opportunities. So you'll find that with a neobank, somewhere as you get your transactions, but they include in, let's say you pay your power bill through the bank. There will also be some information that tells you, by the way, you're paying 30% more than most people for power. Would you like to switch who you're getting your power from? Or you're paying for internet, they say the last 3 months you paid 50% more than everyone else. Here are 3 alternatives, right from your banking app. So they go a step ahead of, in terms of finding partnerships, always with the goal to drive as much value as possible to the customer. And finally, they offer their services typically for free. I think one of the most defining factors of banking traditionally is, what are the concepts of the hidden fees that I pay every month? I don't know what they're for, I don't understand them, and indeed, of course, the bank needs to make revenue. But neobanks have been able, through some of the decisions and the features mentioned above, they're able to go to the market with free services, free products, attract a move of customers, build and win their trust, and then eventually monetize them over time. So this is an example of a sample neobank. It's typically an app paired with a debit card, and that's all you need. Nobody ever steps in a branch. Everything from local to global transfers, sending money to your friends, paying for things online, subscribing to different services. All you have is the app and the card. So taking a step back, one of the problems that we saw and defined was that traditional banking does not benefit up to 3/4 of the population. You might have a savings account, it's yielding low interest. Borrowing itself is expensive if you get the loan, and it's a big if. And there's absolutely no personalization. I'm getting exactly the same form as everybody else, and even though our needs are very different. And we believe Sacco banking is actually the best type of banking for most people, for the majority. But in itself, it's not without challenges. And in the same way that neobanking emerged to help to solve some of the problems faced by traditional banks, we believe that neobanking can solve some of the issues, challenges facing Saccos today. And those challenges are as follows. First, everyone has spoken about this, digitizing can be expensive. No matter in which ways it's cut, every time there's an outlay of capital, that's capital that is spent in consideration against something else that you might have wanted to spend on. So the concept of being able to afford new infrastructure, a new server room, a whole new deployment becomes weighed against the other operational costs that you have as a Sacco. The second is that fraud can and has undermined trust and loyalty. It only takes one or two incidents for anyone rationally to fear, is my money safe? This is my future. Am I going to be able to retire in peace? Am I fine in banking with this institution? Thirdly is that support infrastructure is inaccessible and costly. So one of the panelists have mentioned before, Saccos have systems, but the member is not getting any benefit from it because at some level, the support that the Sacco is getting is not meeting their needs. And finally, members are becoming increasingly digital native. And it's not purely the millennials, it's not purely the Gen Zs. There's no one of any age who, given the choice of convenience and inconvenience, will pick inconvenience. So increasingly, as more and more services, whether social, whether financial, whether lifestyle, become more digitized, the more traditional or more legacy ways of doing things stand out even more. So we're looking at how can Neobank help with these particular challenges. And in our view, there's 3 ways to look at it in how you can turn your Sacco into a neobank. And the first is a modern core. The second is omni-channel plus AI. And the third is to be API first. A modern core effectively allows you to lower your operational costs and pass those savings to members. So you can enjoy up to 10% in 10x efficiency over your legacy system, as well as supercharging the ease and speed of work. It also allows rapid product innovation so that you can generate new customer base, respond to trends. Imagine being able to respond the second or the third day after there's a big announcement, and this is the case with neobanks. There'll be a big announcement, and they can respond within 2-3 days with a new product that is has its pulse on the heartbeat of the nation. This also, just let's say the speed and innovation is not at the expense of compliance and granular reporting, because at the end of the day, the boards and the members need to be able to make the right decisions. And omnichannel and AI allow a level of personalization as well as ease of access that continue to build and gain activity and trust. If it's possible to profile and understand one customer versus another, it's easier to meet their needs. One customer has, if you're a student, you're studying for exams, and you're a student, you're about to join college, you have needs that are specific to you versus a business owner who's looking to open a second branch. But if we're treated exactly the same, one might get the service, one not. And so personalization allows growing the activity of members as well as increasing their trust, because you can offer products that meet their needs, enable independent transaction. I mean, mobile banking in itself, in its pure form, allows transaction 24/7. But more than just being able to help you do more, neobanking does it for you, right? So you can automate savings and repayments. You can set your goals and let the intelligence of the platform help you achieve it, overcoming sometimes the let's say human will. If you need to employ willpower sometimes to save, do I save or do I spend? Do I save or do I spend? neobanking uses technology to help you overcome some of these aspects. So incrementally, if, for example, I set it that if I do go and buy a coffee or have dinner at a restaurant, then automatically save 50 shillings, 100 shillings for me. All of a sudden, my daily actions, my daily way of life is also contributing to me building wealth without me having to, at every single moment, make a decision. Because we know at the point of a decision, there's competing priorities, and I might choose to save today, but the next 3 options, maybe not. And so neobanking has helped take on that challenge and allow us to hit our goals autonomously. It also increases loyalty and trust with free services. So the ability to try something first is something that we prize. It doesn't necessarily always reflect, you have the question of, if it's free, is it worth it? If it's free, is it valuable? And that's a discussion and decision that a lot of companies have to make. But as humans, as individuals, there's a reason why when you go to the supermarket and there's a new brand, there's a reason they've cut small pieces for you to try. Because it does help you feel a bit better about the decision you're about to make. And neobanking has incentivized people to get their phones out, download the app, and just try it, because there's no risk to try it. And if the experience is good enough, you will come back for more. And finally, neobanking also still includes everyone. It's not sufficient to just focus on the smartphone penetration, and that's the trend of digitization and so on. But one of the recent research from GSMA, almost 90% of financial transactions in Africa happen on USSD, including with people who have smartphones. And there's probably people here who you have your very nice smartphone and you dial *123#. So USSD is a core pillar of the strategy. USSD can still plug into a very intelligent backend. Just because you can use it on a kabambe doesn't mean it's not smart. And I think neobanking allows the innovation to happen at the back, and then the channels to access this innovation include everybody, from who has a smartphone to who doesn't. And then there's becoming API first. This has been spoken about a bit. Simply put, an API allows 2 applications or systems to talk to each other. And the classic way of using it has been, can I check out, use one service while using another? Or every time I take this action, notify another application. That's sort of the simple way that APIs have been used so far. But so if a loan is being submitted, please check CRB and make sure this person is referenced. They'll do this by API. Traditional banking, digital banking has used this. But neobanking has taken it a step further. It's embedding third-party services that you would not expect at the point of context. So when I'm about to do something that is relevant to one context, I'm introduced to another service that I would not have thought of at that moment. As I mentioned, you could be looking at your transactions, you see your internet bill, okay, it was paid, but then they also tell you, by the way, you paid too much compared to everyone else. If you click here, we can automatically switch you to another internet provider. So that kind of leveling up of using the way that machines talk to each other is what neobanks have used to grow exponentially. And because of all of those benefits, that's why we decided as Kwara to build a neobank that's powered by Saccos, powered by credit unions. We do this with our modern cloud-based core banking platform, and offer the members a neobank. And the Sacco can be as small or as big as it is. Every client that we have enjoys the same rich, intelligent service that a classic neobank would have. So we have a couple of products. First, a Sacco operating system. You can think about it as the core banking, but it is more of an operating system. If you think of Windows or Apple, where you can carry out your KYC, you can create products, you can you can originate loans, you can run it as a classic, run a classic and modern banking business while being compliant and while being efficient. And then we offer a Neobank app to members, which allows not only the members to save, borrow, and invest, but also provides them that level of personalization so that you can meet their exact needs. So the Kwara core, we've been able to, we have the benefit of data, and data has been mentioned many times as the future. So that's what's important to us. Clients of ours who use Kwara core have been able to grow their portfolio 4 times. They have been able to cut their overhead expenses by 70%, and we list their expenses before and after, and we're able to measure it. Our clients who move to Kwara app, the Kwara app, are able to give experiences that can be 100 times faster than what they used to offer before. And the clients who use Kwara Open, which is our API, have been able to launch debit cards, integrate with payment gateways, embed different ways of credit risk analysis, and are now exploring some of the innovative partnerships that we mentioned. And all of this is built by people who know Saccos deeply and who love Saccos. So we've measured, we co-developed the product together with Saccos, and afterwards we're able to see increases in productivity by up to 50%. We measure before and after loan applications increasing by almost 300%. We've seen doubling memberships every month for some of our clients because it's almost 200 times faster to sign up online with the Kwara app than it was before, and all the while still being up to 70% cheaper than some of the alternatives. But technology is nothing without a support. And if you've used Gmail or you've used Yahoo or you've used Facebook, support is key. Happy, healthy, human, friendly support is key. So we have a live chat, everybody gets a response in less than 1 minute. At the same time, you can go and inform yourself, a comprehensive knowledge base, so as you bring in new staff, it's easy for them to get up to speed with the platform. There's always a single point of contact, so you're not getting lost who to speak to when there's an issue. We brought from different organizations, world-class customer success managers, and all the training is always included. And we are a startup, but we have pioneered and emphasized the fact that we will provide banking-grade service. And this is measured in the architecture and the technology that we provide. Our availability service level is almost unmatched, so it's 99.999%. We have 2-minute failover in our backends, so one fails, there's less than 2 minutes, you will not notice. If you've ever seen Gmail go down, which is probably never, that's the kind of setup that we have. We back up everything continuously. There's a lot of performance monitoring and so on. At the same time, things can go wrong. There's a war in Ukraine now. There can be an earthquake in South Africa. Things can go wrong. And because of that, we plan for the worst case. One data center fails, others are ready for us already. And we do get preferential treatment when some of these things happen. We have decided to invest in that level of contracting, that if anything goes wrong, we are taken care of first. We, of course, check the system. Someone mentioned about pen testing, ethical hackers. We find them, we tell them, please break in, find us the weakness, and we'll reward you for it. Immediately, of course, we fix any vulnerabilities, but this is a continuous process. It will never stop because as technology improves, new risks come up. And finally, our response and resolution time, we hold ourselves to the same standard as a bank in terms of providers, so less than 1 minute. SLAs must be honored or you get significant benefits on your contract, and there is escalation. If it gets to it, I get a call and we figure out what to do. So that's it. Very happy to speak to anyone from the Sacco sector or who is generally interested in neobanking. My name is Cynthia. Thank you again for your time.